Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the December 31st edition of the Carolina weather video here. And of course, we've had a minor winter weather event unfold across the western Carolinas as we've gone through the overnight hours last night. And of course, that extended even down into northeast Georgia as well. Some accumulating snow in some spots, even down into northeastern Georgia. That event pulling away this morning. This is the radar shot from 4:30, actually 4:35, and pretty nice band of rain and extending from the Florida Panhandle through South Georgia and the coastal Carolinas. The wintry precip has been lifting out, and as I'm cutting this video, snow flying in the Virginias up into Pennsylvania and Ohio and pulling away. And while the appreciable precip has come to an end, a short-term problem if you're watching this video for the next several hours, very early on this Thursday morning, is temperatures hovering near the freezing mark in many Piedmont locations. And that means still the possibility of some slick spots on some area roadways this morning. And for that reason, still have a winter weather advisory in effect all the way down from northeast Georgia through the western Carolinas. And, of course, where the snow is still falling and the sleet and freezing rain is still occurring there up through the Virginias and into southern New England. Now, across the country, here comes that big push of very, very cold Arctic air. The pattern showing teens below zero for temperatures beginning now to nose into the Dakotas, and this is going to be a direct discharge of this Arctic air into the central and eastern part of the United States. And it's going to be a very cold stretch of weather this weekend through next week around here. Now, one little fly in the ointment with the forecast the next couple of days, and I know this isn't an animation, so it's tough to pick out, but here, this is the water vapor imagery, and there's a pretty potent little upper-level disturbance in that general area, and that's going to cruise off to the east, and it'll probably kick off some precipitation, but it still looks like most of that's going to stay off to the south of the areas where it will be cold enough for any wintry-type precip as our Friday night time frame unfolds. So it still looks like that'll scoot by rather harmlessly to the south of much of our region. All right, so let's go through the modeling. 0-0 out of the GFS. This is valid 1 o'clock this afternoon here, New Year's Eve. The main batch of precip pulling out, but there's this little secondary weak low pressure pulling through. So there could be certainly some lingering drizzle or light rain in a lot of spots as today unfolds. Not the prettiest of days, sort of a damp and dreary day, and then fog will settle in tonight. So as we ring in 2010, it looks sort of foggy out there in many spots, and temperatures mid to upper 30s as tonight unfolds. All right, New Year's Day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, notice the action off the coast, and the GFS trying to print out a little precip in central Georgia into southern parts of and eastern parts of South Carolina. But it just looks like this is not going to get into proper alignment to spread any precip back where the air might be cold enough to support wintry precip in the western and central part of North Carolina and the upstate of South Carolina, northeast Georgia. It looks like the precip probably is going to stay south and east of there. All right, here comes the cold air. This is 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, and that is a cold, cold day. A lot of folks in the 30s for highs, breezy conditions, so at best, even at the warmest part of the day, we're talking wind chill values Saturday in the 20s. And after the low temperature Saturday morning, well down into the 20s, we're talking teens for lows Sunday morning, highs here Sunday afternoon. It could struggle to get above freezing in many Piedmont spots, so it's going to be a cold pattern that we're settling into. Monday morning, lows in the teens. Monday afternoon, 30s for highs again. It does look like that system Monday will stay suppressed well off to our south. Tuesday, very cold, teens for lows, 30s for highs. And then we get on out to Wednesday. And another system tries to emerge our way, but it looks like that too midweek will get suppressed to our south. But then things get pretty interesting. This is the, again, day 8 to 10 day average of the upper air chart, European model on the left, GFS model on the right. Couple features to note here. General agreement here. European showing this nice blocking pattern, and it's generally there to a large extent on the GFS as well. Western North America ridge undercutting systems beneath that as we get out toward the end of next week. And that's when the pattern looks pretty interesting for winter weather chances. This is the GFS 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday the 9th. Powerful storm system moving through. That is a significant winter storm being indicated from the deep south up through the southeastern part of the country. So the GFS is latched on to that idea. And let's take a peek here at the European. And it also has a low pressure area moving from the Gulf across Florida. And this is 7 a.m. Saturday the 9th. The Canadian, there you go. Coastal low near Georgia and South Carolina coast. And it's a little slower with this, but actually it's not too bad. Pretty close. This is 7 p.m. Saturday. So those three major models all with this system toward the end of next week. And we go out a little further on the GFS. This is the Tuesday the 12th, 7 a.m. Cold air still certainly around, and a lot of cold air still in the eastern United States all the way out to the 15th of January. So it looks like the subtropical jet will start having some influence again. Even though it's still going to have influence early next week, but the suppression pattern really keeping things off to our south. Cold and dry, it looks like, for the first half of next week. But toward the end of next week, say, as we get toward 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, looks like we'll begin to see a pattern that might be more conducive for getting a more significant storm system to roll on through. So I do think, again, eventually this pattern yields wintry weather chances. Had a little wintry precip overnight last night, pretty insignificant in most spots, but maybe a more significant winter weather potential with this as we get, say, beginning January 7th and onward in this pattern. So more fun and games probably coming down the line. All right, that's it for today's edition, the final edition of 2009 of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for a great year. Thanks for watching the video and the blog. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep churning out the products here as we go through 2010. Thanks for watching. Have a great new year. Happy New Year to you and yours, and God bless.